Oh yeah, baby. Mm, 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 mm. This is so delicious. Mm. This tea is just damn. Tea is so good. Mm. Ah, it's like heaven. Ah, the ginger, the lemon, the honey. Mm. Ooh, in my house. Ooh, 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 ooh. In my house. Ooh, 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 ooh. Mm. Oh shit. Oh my god. Hi. Hello. Welcome. Ooh. Welcome to the JB show. It's Sunday. It's definitely April 24th, 2021, 2022. Ooh. See how verklempt and disheveled I really am? Oh my. Oh my. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah. Mm. Well, good afternoon. I'd like to give a warm welcome to all of you and remind you that the JV show is live every single Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also catch me on the roundtable on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, I host my own channel called the JB Font Channel on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, bring your sexy selves over and make sure you give me a thumbs up. And if you're brand new to this in my house, can you please subscribe? Please, please, pretty please. Go ahead and do that for little old me. You know the algorithm don't like us together. Anyway, hi. Good to see all y'all here today. Today is going to be a very important show. I just wanted to, talk about something serious, but I wanted to start off a little bit light. Why? Because it's such a heavy topic. We're all going to die. No, seriously, if we don't stop this, we're all going to die. Yeah. It's a heavy topic. I'm telling you. Look, excuse me. It is heavy as hell. I'm trying to censor my language. Can you tell? Anyway, so to everybody who is watching, I'd like to give a warm welcome to. Good to see all of you here in the chat. CBC voter, it's nice to see you here as well. Vicky Sherlock is in the building. She said was just watching Rome and he said to get over here. Get over here. Yep. Glad to see you here. Terry Connolly, good to see you. Good afternoon. Kyle Haggerty, good to see you as well. Eric Gray is in the chat. Hey, everybody. And yeah, this topic is especially great importance here in Florida. Absolutely. This is going to be very pressed on our minds. So this is good to talk about. Uncle Warren is in the chat. Extra boy, yes. Sunday. So good to see you here. Yep, X. Good to see you. Hello, everybody. It looks like it's time for another JB show. Yes. Thank you so much. Leo, it's so good to see you here. All right. Be here or be queer. Be there or be square. Whatever. Ugh. Anyway, Malik, good to see you here as well. All right. Who else is in the chat that I didn't get to see? All right. The Shake Up. So good to see you also in the chat. This is how you start off a Sunday. Good morning from out of Oakland, California. Well, welcome from Oakland, California. Nice to see people from the Bay Area in the chat as well today, watching me live. Yes, that's right. I am live. Radical Leftist Agenda. So good to see you, my friend. Russ Sarniowski. Did I say that correctly? Scorpion. I don't know what that means, but I'm not a Scorpio. I'm a Cancer. Robert, so good to see you. Good to see you as well. And here, Gary, Seth, We're all going to die. But Biden and his oligarch bastards are getting impatient. They don't realize that the same thing's going to happen to them. Yeah. So, Sweary Fairy, so good to see you as well here in the chat. She says, "Hey, JB, good to see you." All right, Zach Davis. Zach Davis says, "Hey, JB, I have kidney disease, and watching you inspired me to fight for a better future." Oh man. Hey, look, Zach. Let me tell you, dude. Hang in there. It is rough. And thank you for those kind words. I really appreciate it. But you know, just keep doing the best that you possibly can. And one of the things that helps me is to try to, at least from an emotional standpoint and a mental standpoint, to try to be something healthy for people to be around, as far as the way we communicate with people, the way we talk to people, um, how we treat others, because that can go a long way. We may not be able to do as much physically as we would like to, but as far as the way we treat others, that can also be a help, because some people just aren't treated good at all in this world. And so we have to be the change that we want to see. So thank you so much for being here, Zach. I really appreciate it. Raziel the Great. So much, so good to see you. So I almost said so much to see you. What? What in the hell? JB, get it together, man. All right. Oh, you're on the road to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, or Myrtle Beach, Florida? Which one? I'm not. Uh, that's good. Close enough. I know. Look, when people say my last name, they always say it kind of wrong. So I try to say it as accurately as I possibly can. I would need to hear it or see it phonetically written so that I can pronounce it correctly. I do apologize if I messed it up in any way whatsoever, but I'm glad that I got kind of close. So I am, I am in. I'm a mess. All right, Watson says, "Good day. Met Rome in Southern California a couple months back. I helped Rome bring close to forgotten human beings on Skid Row." Thank you so much for doing that. Um, the fact that they are being forgotten shows what a cancer that we have in this nation, how powerful it really is. People should not be in that position in the first place. And people may come into this video saying, well, they chose to be there. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. A lot of times people run into issues, either mental, emotional, or financial, and different circumstances happen. And then when those circumstances happen, then it leads them into getting into that situation. And a lot of times it end up affecting them financially so that they no longer have a home. I'm just a firm believer that finances should not be a barrier into you having a home. I don't believe humans should be houseless, homeless. I don't believe that it should exist in this country. Call me crazy. All right. Oh yes, that's what he was referring to. Thanks, Ware Pilgrim. I appreciate it. All right. Who else is in the chat? Harry Christopher. So good to see you in here as well. Nice to have you. Harry says, I saw the video where you cried on Sabrina's channel. You have my sympathy, my dude. Fuck capitalism. Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. That was rough. Um, but I had to get it out because um, a lot of times people will have their stories in this media space about what they dealt with, and a lot of times it's typically in their families where they dealt with the perils of capitalism. Well, yeah, sometimes, but I rarely ever see them say, "Well, I am poor." You know, a lot of them will say, "Well, we were working class growing up, or we were middle class growing up." How many of them are poor and are still poor even as you watch them? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. YepX says, "Hey JB, have you guys interviewed the people from Panquake yet? I'm sure Graham L would hook you up." I interviewed someone that was months ago. I interviewed someone. I forget his name. It starts with a B, I think. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on his name. But we actually did. I know I interviewed someone from Panquake. I think Sabby did. Sabby did as well. So yeah, we covered some people from Panquake. Um, it should be somewhere down the list. If you go on to the playlist and you go straight to the JB show, you go down. It's gonna. I think I did it like last summer. Last summer, like late last summer, I did a Panquake episode. So you know, if you want to see that, but yeah, I've had somebody on Panquake. I haven't had somebody from Panquake on in a while. I should reach out to them and have somebody back on. I still think I have that person's contact info, so I probably should reach out. I'll probably end up doing that. It's been a while, especially since Elon Musk decided that he wants to try to buy Twitter. I'm pretty sure alternatives are deep on other people's minds, you know, especially a lot of people on the left. So just saying. Hey John, good to see you, man. All right, all and accounted for. Russ says from Facebook says America is not what we want it to be after 200 years of placing our well-being in centralized hands. Let's aim higher. Okay. I mean, it was basically placed in the hands of uh, white land owning men. Um, that's basically what it was placed in, and people like me weren't even considered people; we were considered property. So it was exactly where they wanted it to be. I would argue that it is, and uh, but um, we're out now, and we're ready to make it into what it should be because America was like the austerity and the homelessness and all that. That's what America. That's what America was because they placed it in the hands of the basically the wealthy at the onset, and it continued to be there. So, but the fact about aiming higher, oh yeah, oh yeah, we're gonna definitely trying to aim higher. That's one of the reasons why RBN exists. All right, Wesley Donaldson. So good to see you. Good morning to you as well. John says this country can provide people with homes. Strange, my granddaughter even has a simple plan to make it work. Hmm. You know, it's funny. Since we're on the subject of housing, and I'm kind of centering this entire stream on housing as well. Um, when I put out that tweet that said that Twitter was uh, uh, ending homelessness was cheaper than buying Twitter in regards to Elon Musk, I decided to take that screenshot and put it on Twitter. I'm sorry, on Facebook. Like 60,000 likes later, You have comments full of people who are arguing basically that it is what it is. That's just the system. And I mean, what can you really do? And it's like, yeah, no. Do not sit there and expect me to accept a system where we live in the richest country of the history of the world, where we have exorbitant amounts of wealth, and you expect me to be okay or to see any justification the fact that people are homeless or houseless. Look, and I'm not just talking about people who are sleeping out on the street or in tents. I'm talking about your family member that's sleeping on your couch in your living room. I'm talking about that family that's living in that motel. I'm talking about that family that has to double up in the house. That's what I'm talking about. I'm also talking about them too. Like, everybody thinks when I'm talking about houses, I'm talking about the 500,000 that are outside of doors. No, 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 baby. No, I'm not talking about just them. I'm also talking about the people who are literally in motels. Part of it is because either one, they don't have the money to move into an adequate apartment, or two, they don't have the credit to enter into an apartment, or three, they don't have either. And so they're basically houses having to live in a single room with two beds and have 3, 4, 5 people in one room. Yes, that's also what I'm talking about. They also are houseless. They're also housing insecure. I'm also talking about the people who do rent or own a home, but they're struggling every single month just to be able to afford to stay there, because they're in fear of either being foreclosed or evicted. That's also who I'm talking about. Because just because you're renting a place doesn't mean you're secure. Because you're always at risk. If you have an adequate source of income, you are always at risk. So therefore, this is what I'm talking about. And then some dude comes in to my mentions and it's like, homelessness has nothing to do with money. Motherfucker, did you just hear what you just said? What do you pay rent and mortgages with then? Anyway, so that's the thing. When it comes to talking about this is what I mean. Uh, you know, this country, John is right. This country could provide adults with homes. People, and what's funny? People always talk about when it comes to hunger, poverty, and being unhoused, they always talk about kids. They're like, oh, the kids, they don't have enough to eat. Oh, the kids, they don't have a place to live. Oh, the kids are in poverty. If their parents are in poverty, then they are also in poverty. Guess what? You can't just focus on the kids. You have to focus on all people, because adults are the ones who have the kids. So therefore, just because like, for instance, if you have a family, like, let's say you have a family of 4, right? Right? Single parent, 3 kids, right? How many people are out there like that, right? And the kids and the parent are living in poverty, right? What does it look like if you save the kids out of poverty, but you keep the mom in poverty? What does that look like? Like, make that make sense. How can you try to lift the kids out of poverty without lifting the mom or the dad out of poverty? How does that work? They always say, oh, we got to save the children. Okay, well, guess what? That also involves their parents. And they're like, oh, but they made that choice. You know what? Poverty is a choice, But it's not a choice of the individual. It's the choice of the people who run the system that created the poverty in the first place. It is a choice, but it's not, the choice doesn't land on the people you think it does. And that's the crazy part. Shit, let me get some tea. I'm getting riled up. I gotta wet my whistle. Sorry to keep your comment up there, John, but you giving me a subject, bro. And you're a brilliant man, and I appreciate what you do. And you, John, you and me, if we had a conversation, it would last for hours because you know. So that's the crazy part. So when the Democrats were talking about, oh, we cut child poverty in half, which, by the way, was complete and utter. It was a lie and it was bullshit because they never actually did it. Number one. Number two, in order to cut child poverty in half, you literally have to cut poverty in half, including adults. You have to do that too, because adults are the people who have kids. I'm sorry, I don't see a 5-year-old being a mom to a 12-year-old. Doesn't happen. So in order for you to have to lift, kids out of poverty, you got to lift their parents out of poverty too. But then that's when people say, "Oh no, we can't do that because they made their choice." Somebody, I mentioned my mom having to get a job at 70 years old. She's trying to find a job, and somebody in the comments was like, I understand, but why didn't your mom just take those years to save up money and get a better education and things like that? Because she couldn't afford to? Because she was a single mom? Because she had 3 kids to take care of? And then on top of that, the job that she had didn't pay a true living wage like it was supposed to? There's a lot of different factors that went into it. And so because of that, she couldn't. Not every boomer benefited from the system that some people who considered themselves boomers have benefited from. There are some boomers that were screwed royally by the system just as much. Probably not as many because, the pay, was, better at a better rate. Housing prices weren't as bad at the time. I'm talking about like the mid to late 70s, early 80s, before the Grim Reaper Reagan came into power. So there are some boomers who were royally screwed by the system, and there are some boomers who saw that the system was royally screwing people, and they were like, okay, this can't happen. And then they were on the left and they started protesting, and they've been protesting for years. Thank you to the boomers who have been fighting for this for a long time. Thank you. Appreciate it. But yeah, so that's my mom is one of those boomers. She was screwed by the system. Never mind the fact that she's also a black woman. And that, when I was a little kid, it was the Bush years and in turn the Clinton years. And then who ended welfare reform? Sing it with me, kids. Bill Clinton. So yeah. Some of us are screwed. Some of us who are boomers are screwed. We're screwed from the start. Some of us who are Gen X were screwed from the start. There's a shit ton of millennials of us that are screwed from the start. There's a lot of Gen Z that is screwed from the start. There's a lot of Gen Alpha that are screwed from the start. So yeah, I wasn't expecting to talk about this long, but that was that was uh that was a good one, John. Thank you for helping me to expound on that. Man, I just from one comment. Then Obama and the banks got our loans for us late boomers. Yep. You know what, John? Let me ask you this: as as a boomer, as a black boomer, it's got to be a gigantic betrayal as the scene in 2008, a black man ascend to the presidency, and then that same black man screws you of the older generation over like that. It's got to be, it's got to really hurt, because I imagine, like, I'm hurt as a millennial, as an elder millennial, but I'm hurt as a millennial because of the BS that Obama did. But I think it would be exceptionally hurt even more if I was part of the older generation, especially the ones who saw the civil rights movement and saw that it happen. And then next thing you know, you have an achievement of the first black president. And then he also works with the banks and royally screws black people over, especially. I mean, black wealth tanked under Obama. And a lot of black people, what is their wealth tied in? Their homes. Like, that's gotta be like, if look, if you have some words for him, I understand, man. I understand. Like, holy crap. That is, ooh, oh, I'd be out there with a bullhorn. Look, y'all would have to cover y'all ears, all the expletives that I'd be saying against them. So, well, you're smarter than a lot of people, John. Well, not smarter, but you saw through the bullshit easier. My hat off to you. But yeah, I just wanted to get into that. But that's not even, well, it's not complete. Well, it kind of is related, but the main subject of today's show, almost a half hour later, is basically the housing crisis of humanity. Now, what do I mean by that? If you look at the thumbnail, I have a picture of our planet, our home. Why do I have a picture of our home and talking about the housing crisis? Because our house, the earth, is in a crisis. We are literally facing an eviction of humanity from this planet. This is like issue number one, basically, as far as whatever issue you want to talk about. You want to talk about geopolitical issues? This is issue number one. You want to talk about black issues? This is issue number one. Black people, look, I know y'all want to talk about policing. Yep, that's also important. Y'all want to talk about housing? Yep, that's also important. Y'all want to talk about ending the drug war? Yep, that's also important. But the thing is, you cannot deal with any of this if you're not alive. You can't. The survival of our species is literally at stake here. A couple days ago, it was Earth Day. And it was clearly on the minds of many. I know Savvy Sabs, she was on her channel and she was live from a rally, for Earth Day. there are many actions taking place over the weekend. And there's so much going on right now that people just don't know. And I wonder, like, why the report from the IPCC was not breaking news. Like, you know how they covered COVID, like, at the beginning of the pandemic, right? They covered it like crazy. Like, they would be like a banner, like a panel on the side of the screen with just numbers. They'd be talking about other news, but then that would be on there. They'd be talking about the numbers, how many people died, how many people who caught it, how many people were vaxxed, how many people, how many people. It's just so much about it 24/7. Why in the hell is not the report from the IPCC just like that? Like, are you kidding me? Any action against the goal to change and improve our planet, people should be vilified for it. Like, why aren't we, like, what? You'll probably see it in like a very early news report at like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on one of the 24-hour news corporate media stations. Oh, the IPCC report says that, we only have, things are getting worse than what we actually originally thought it would, and blah, blah, blah. Okay, on to the next story. Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson. Like, y'all, like, for real? Like, and then you have a president saying that he's the president of science. You have to laugh to keep yourself from crying, people. Like, really, you really, really do. Because the thing is that it's crazy because he's not. Because if he was, then he will actually be looking and considering the science and then pushing it like crazy. But he's not. Why? Because he never was. Okay, so that being said, let's go here. Let me open this. Because this is a very serious topic. And apparently somebody took it so serious that they decided to harm themselves. This is brand new news that just came out. Let me, oh gosh, get out of my face. No thanks. Let me enlarge this just a little bit. All right. Okay. Why is this video up? I don't want that video. Okay. This is from WUSA 9. Man dead after setting himself on fire outside of Supreme Court building. Says the man was identified with Win Bruce 50 of Boulder, Colorado. Why? A man is dead after setting himself on fire outside a unit Supreme Court building on Friday. Emergency medical crews were called to the Supreme Court around 6:30 p.m. after a man set himself on fire in the building. Said he died. He died of his injuries. Says self-immolation, the act of setting oneself on fire and burning to death, can be a form of protest and has been used to make political statements in the nation's capital in the past. It is unclear. Yeah. Oh, that's what I remember. Yeah, this happened back in 2004 in Yemen. Mohammed Alan C set himself on fire outside of a White House gate. Oh no, that's not the one I remember. I remember one that was I forgot which country, but it was a man who had a fruit cart, and I think the troops took it away or something like that. And he was so distraught that he set himself on fire, and it led to a huge conflict. But um, let me go to the tweet that sparked this, because if I learn how to actually work my own computer correctly, that will actually be great. Okay. Okay. All right. Let me stop sharing. Gosh, this is so yeah. Backstory. Uh, Mufaletta Matzo Man. Thank you for the tweet. Says crazy how a guy self-immolates in the country's capital in front of the Supreme Court on Earth Day in protest of climate change and action, and is barely a blip on the media and social radar. He continues, the politicians need to come out and address it. No calls for investigations, no social discussion. There's a few reports that the guy did it, and that's it. Just like what I showed you. They didn't actually tell you the motive behind it. Reminds me of the Palestine rally that we had in Orlando last year. Massive crowds all over the city. It barely got a mention on social media, let alone anywhere else. Incredible how random people looked at his Facebook and found this info before any reports reported on it at all. And that's from him. He's talking about climate change. So you basically have a guy that decided to set himself on fire because of his protest to climate change. I just want you guys to know how serious climate change really is. And why would a 50-year-old man end up setting himself on fire? Wait, hang on. Robin says Mr. Bruce was a known climate activist. Yeah, why would a climate activist on Earth Day stand in front of the Supreme Court and set himself on fire? You're gonna have a lot of people that go, "Ah, man, he was just crazy." They're just gonna use, ableist language like that and say he was just right in the head. Like anybody is willing to set themselves on fire like that. It is used to make a statement as a political statement. Let's take a look at this. Stop sharing. Let's look at the history. I know it's Wikipedia, but sometimes they do things sometimes accurately. Self-immolation. Immolation, I'm sorry. Self-immolation is the act of sacrificing oneself by setting oneself on fire and burning to death. It is typically used for political or religious reasons, often as a form of non-violent protest or an act of martyrdom. It has a centuries long recognition as the most extreme form of protest possible by humankind. So it is an extreme form of protest. And look, I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it right now. And it leads me to talk about climate change and how devastating it is to the rest of us. You know, I didn't get to see you this morning, Cat Terrell. Good to see you. I didn't see you come in, but it's good to see you. He knew about the mass assault in geoengineering going on in Colorado. Used to be one of the bluest sky states. Now it's all effed up. Mm, it's sad. Mm, it's crazy. There are a lot of people who, and I shared this a couple weeks back, but I'm gonna share it again. Also, the link is going to be in the chat, by the way. Um, this is from Common Dreams. It says dozens arrested as scientists worldwide mobilized to demand climate revolution. This is from Jake Johnson. It says if everyone can see what I'm seeing, society would switch on into climate emergency mode and end fossil fuels in just a few years. Says more than 1,000 scientists across the globe chained themselves to the doors of oil-friendly banks, blocked bridges, and occupied the steps of government buildings on Wednesday to send an urgent message to the international community. The ecological crisis is accelerating, and only a climate revolution will be enough to avert catastrophe. This organizer described as the world's largest ever scientist-led civil disobedience campaign. And this was because of the IPCC, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. And because of its latest report, they decided that it was just too extreme to not protest about it. And so they went out and protest, risking arrest, by the way. And by the way, we have receipts. So let's go here and let's share my screen again. We're going to see this, and then I'm going to talk to you guys on the other side. So this is from My Lovely Kuro. Says climate change is a big problem. Scientists protest to spread info about this, but they are still sent to jail. We only have 3 to 5 years to change the world for the better before the consequences happen. So here's what we're going to do. going to.
I've been trying to warn you guys for so many decades that we're heading towards a fucking catastrophe. And you've been being ignored. The scientists of the world have been being ignored. And it's gotta stop. We're gonna lose everything. And we're not joking.
I hate the background music though, because you can't hear it very clearly. But yeah. And people are like, seriously, they are chaining themselves. You know, here is talking about the climate activist. Says on Earth Day when Bruce self-immolated. And so I read this quote and it was pretty deep. This is a quote, says, self-burning is somehow difficult for the Western Christian conscience to understand. The press spoke of suicide, but in essence, it's not. It's not even a protest aimed only at alarming, at moving the hearts of oppressors, and at calling the attention to the world. To burn oneself by fire is to prove that what one is saying is of the utmost importance. There is nothing more painful than burning oneself. To say something while experiencing this kind of pain is to say it with the utmost of courage, frankness, and determination and sincerity. That's from Thich Nhat Hanh. That's a quote. And this is the gentleman that self-immolated, in front of the Capitol steps. Climate activist. Okay. So this is another one. So I'm going to. Can you guys hear okay? Just want to make sure you guys can hear okay. Okay. I hope so. Okay, so I'm going to. All right. I'm going to play this next one and we'll see you guys on the other side.
We are doing civil disobedience at JP Morgan Chase Bank, which out of all the banks in the world, the one that has done the most to fund fossil fuel projects. This latest IPCC report made it very clear that current and planned fossil fuel infrastructure will take us significantly beyond, 2 times beyond the best estimate of what we can still emit, and have a coin toss chance of staying under 1.5 degrees of global heating.
These banks, these institutions fund everything globally and locally. This is for the Wet'suwet'en in Canada. This is for the Tonga people here.
I'm here because scientists are not being listened to. I'm willing to take a risk for this gorgeous planet, for my sons. And we've been trying to warn you guys for so many decades that we're heading towards a fucking catastrophe. And we've been being ignored. The scientists of the world have been being ignored. And it's gotta stop. We're gonna lose everything. And we're not joking. We're not lying. We're not exaggerating. This is so bad, everyone, that we're willing to take this risk. And more scientists and more people are gonna start joining us. This is for all of the kids of the world, all the young people, all the future people. This is so much bigger than any of us.
And we are tired of being ignored. We've tried being unbiased. We've tried being silent. We have tried the policy game. We have tried celebrities. We have tried everything.
Yo, why does it take that many police for a couple of scientists that are chained to a door? I want y'all to answer that question for me. And those of you who are watching later and in the rewatch of this in the comments, why does it take how many? Wait, let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and maybe I think a 27th way over there. And that's just not all of it in the frame. I'm just counting literally 27 police officers, maybe more, in this one frame. And you mean to tell me that they're all there just for 2 scientists that are chained to the door? Let me ask you this even further, right? Hang on. Let me make sure that y'all can really see my face. Let me come up close. Let me ask y'all this. What are the oppressors trying to hide? Because it would only take maybe 3, 4 police officers in total to deal with the situation. Why are more than 24 police out there just for a couple of scientists? Makes you wonder, huh? How serious is this issue? Why do they want to keep it under wraps? Scientists are literally leading the charge now and are basically trying to show you that you should be outraged about this. Y'all wonder why I want to defund the police. Let's continue. Greg Spooner, physicist. Okay. These oligarchs really don't give a fuck about the planet, do they? They really don't care. They have no empathy, no sympathy for really anyone. And then you'll have people who go, but JB, it takes a lot just to get us off of fossil fuels. And how long have we been using fossil fuels for? A good part about 100 years or so on a massive scale. And you mean to tell me that in that 100 years, we haven't found a way in order to get ourselves off of it? Might I remind you that we knew about these issues that the climate scientists are talking about since the 70s. We knew since the 70s. Mind you, big oil companies have knew this information since then. And they hid the reports because they didn't want you to find out, because then that would interfere with their, what's the word, kids? Profits. Profits. So, what good is profits if you're not going to be alive for it? And then on top of that, they will put all the blame on climate change on an individualistic level. It's your fault that you're using plastic straws. You guys should be using paper straws. When you got the United States military and all these major companies that are literally contributing to 90% of all the pollution that's happening in the world, and then they want to put the blame on you. The answer to fixing systemic problems is not an individualistic solution. They use individualism to continue to keep doing the systemic problems because the systemic problems are the most profitable right now. That's why they don't want you to stop it. The answer to systemic issues is systemic solutions. And yet, that interferes with their profits. Why? Because they're capitalists. All right. Let's continue. This is another one. Okay. As you can see, there are literally 4 scientists right there that chained themselves to the door. Right? I counted almost 30 cops just in one frame of video. They're in front of a Chase building.
Trying to go down, yeah. That one is, but yeah, like
and yet, you have all those police that are protecting Capitol, that basically just want to arrest these climate scientists. For what? For trying to save them and their kids? Silly scientists trying to save our kids. What do they get off trying to save our kids? Our kids have a right to die. See the logic? See the logic in that? Like, does that make sense to you? Apparently, saving lives is a little too extreme. Damn, tea got cold. Like, what do you want us to do? Huh? Actually stop making money? These are little scientists. You have biologists, physicists, doctors, medical doctors. Think about the onset of diseases that we have been seeing because of climate change. Think about the onset of different types of conditions that we have been seeing that have been getting worse with climate change. And now, let's think about something else. Let's think about the refugees, right? Let's think about the people in other countries. Now, this is something interesting. This is from RTE News. It says beekeepers in Chile brought around 60 beehives, which contain an estimated 10,000 bees, to the presidential palace in Santiago to protest the impacts of a long-term drought that scientists say is at least partly due to climate change. Now, this is how you protest, baby. Meet you on the other side.
Pero también está el carabinero con sus uniformes tradicionales, el casco. Abandono por parte del Estado.
So this was in Chile. And people don't realize how important bees are. Like, literally, like, we would legit starve because a lot of our food production, these foods have flowers, and bees come and pollinate the flowers along with other insects and animals. They do it too, but bees are a huge portion. But if they are dying, how in the hell do we pollinate these flowers and these trees in order to increase or keep our food production going? Like, for real, for real. Like, what do we do? Wow. All right. And let's get to the refugees. Remember this? Let me enlarge. Some of y'all are gonna remember, but some of y'all done forgot until it gets mentioned right now. This is the situation in the Bahamas after Hurricane Dorian is dead, destroyed. This is uninhabitable. Effects of climate change. This was a couple years back. Dozens of Bahamian climate refugees were told to get off a ferry headed to the United States because they didn't have U.S. visas. Y'all remember this? I remember.
Every house right now in Abaco, if there's not one house in Mashaba that is standing, there's not one absolute building that is standing. All the churches are gone. All the gas stations are gone. All the food stores are gone. All the schools are gone. All the homes are gone. Not literally just saying it to say it. Everything is absolutely gone. There is no life in Abaco, period. The whole island got washed away. Places where you knew that was standing, you can't even tell whether that this place was standing here, what used to exist on this piece of block. Nothing is there anymore. When you walk the town, all the bushes are brown. Bodies, they have people there trying to find bodies, but so many buildings collapsed on top of people. The odor, the scent, everywhere is polluted. Dead bodies everywhere, dead animals, gas.
Michelle, you see this water here? Mm-hmm. The water over there darker than that.
Gas, whatever you could think about is polluting the water. People looping, people breaking into the food stores, what is left of the food stores, trying to find food, canned items. They taking these things out, contaminated water. I know because the people I was living it was doing it, bringing the food. The children, them getting sick. They need to try evacuate every single living thing off that island. They don't need nobody there. I don't care what they talking about. Clean up, they need to do that themselves. They need to take all the children, all the people off the island, everybody. That place is not nowhere for no one to be at the moment. Absolutely destroyed. Absolutely destroyed, Aunt Michelle. When you walking through town, just to see, I can't. I've been there for 3 years, and Abaco just seeing what it was.
Sabrina, you make it. You home.
And you what it was.
And I praise God
we had
for
to
you day
move
on.
the storm moving, things getting whooped up. We had to go in day on car, day on crate, people houses in the middle of the road. They don't have to come out the car, move crate to get us to where we was. I could feel the car shaking, getting ready to lift up me and IJ and Liam in the car, screaming, hollering for him to get back in the car so the car wouldn't fucking go flying away with us.
And the United States said they couldn't come because they didn't have visas. They're refugees. Climate refugees. And if you think for 1 second that that's not going to happen again with this crisis that we're dealing with, this planetary housing crisis that we basically have, you're a fool. Because it's happened and it's continuing to happen. Watch. Another hurricane's going to hit. I don't want it to, but it's going to happen. Another hurricane's going to hit. It's going to wipe out an island. And they're going to want to come to the United States because it's higher ground, it's shelter, you know. And the United States and other Western imperialist nations are going to be like, no, you can't come in. Even though a lot of these Western imperialist nations made the world the way it is. Push climate change to the brink where they now cannot live in their own countries because they're literally being wiped out by climate catastrophe. You have islands literally getting swept underwater. Where are those people going to go? Where are they going to go? They have to go to higher ground. Guess what that higher ground is? Some of these nations. And then you have these xenophobic, racist assholes who are basically running the country that say, no, you can't come in because of, some bureaucratic bullshit. Like, oh, they don't have visas, so we can't let them in. We're a nation of laws. Get the fuck out of here. Look, I'll put it this way. The United States is the one that allows all of these, they're the ones that allow all these drilling permits, and the United States military is one of the biggest polluters in the world. So guess what? Go ahead. When it comes to that bill and allowing, all these people to come in as refugees, you take that pill, you swallow it, because guess what, baby? Y'all were the ones who allowed it to happen, because you allow these fossil fuel companies to skirt our tax system. They get to steal our money in subsidies. They get to basically screw us over while price gouging gas prices. Yes, that's right. Like, people will be like, oh, it's just inflation. No, it's price gouging, baby. It's pure and simple price gouging. They made record profits last year. It wasn't because, oh, we just don't have, and it's not like, oh, well, the oil's running out. We just, no. It's price gouging. While they're basically screwing over the planet and screwing over people in the global south and places like the Caribbean and South America and Central America and different African nations and islands surrounding the African nations and in islands surrounding Southeast Asia. So you're going to sit there and tell me that, oh, well, that's just the way things are. No. If you're going to sit there and tell me that that's just the way things are, get the fuck out of my face. Get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. Because we could have changed it, and we had time to change it, but they didn't want to because of profits. And don't give me that bullshit about jobs, because we could actually do a just transition and transition from those to green tech. Instead of building a bunch of cars, and please, do not give me the bullshit about, oh, well, we can build electric cars. No, fuck electric vehicles. Fuck them. Because guess what? That means that we're going to be going to places like Bolivia and now Mexico, because Mexico is trying to nationalize their lithium as well. By the way, United States might end up trying to do a coup in Mexico. Watch this space. But anyway, I digress. But they're going to try to extract all of the resources out of the ground just so that we can have electric vehicles on the road. Like, is that really going to change things? No. Let's go. Look, what have we been saying on the left? High speed mass public transit. Make it fully electric. Now, if then some people will be like, well, JB, these power plants, they also use fossil fuels. All right, then number one, there are areas where you can actually use different resources for different areas, right? You can try to use more solar in places like the Southwest, and places like New Mexico and Arizona, and here in Florida in the Southeast, and places like in the Midwest. Apparently, from what I'm hearing, using thorium for nuclear power plants is much safer than the uranium ones. That's an option. I'm not exactly sure how safe it is. I'm hearing it's significantly safer because basically in the Manhattan Project, they tried thorium and it couldn't be weaponized because it was too safe. So that's an option, but I don't know, and plus the new power plants made today with thorium are significantly safer than the ones in the past. I don't know about that, but that's also an option to consider. We also have geothermal. We also have, places in the upper Midwest near Chicago and Illinois. Then you can also do more wind power plants. You can do so many different, you can do plants that use tidal power. There's so many different resources that we have in order to get ourselves off of fossil fuels and use electricity that is crazy. And the fact that the United States government, as well as the oppressor class, doesn't want to do it, just mean these are some suicidal maniacs. They're suicidal maniacs. That's what they are. They are homicidal. They are just like kill all of humanity just for the sake of profit. Like what? Like really? Are you kidding me right now? So yeah, I mean, no. And for the people who live in rural areas, there's not a real direct answer as to what they can use right now besides you know, gas powered vehicles for their resources. There's not a viable option as right now. But I mean, if you just got rid of, I say, a good like 80 to 90% of all the gas powered vehicles and replaced it with mass public transit and just kept whatever little that we have left to um the areas where it's rural, because they need, those at least for right now until we have a viable option, renewable option instead. But other than that, like, come on. Like, why are we debating, oh, we can just use lithium powered cars? Look, number one, I'm not giving one more red cent to Elon fucking Musk. Like, no. Mr. Want to buy Twitter, but don't want to spend money to end homelessness. Get the fuck out of here. Nah. Catterell says President Lyndon Baines Johnson did a speech on weather control in 1946. It ended with him holding up his fist and ranting, and he controls the weather, controls the world. God damn. That's scary. That's scary. Oh, that's scary. Ooh, thank you for showing that to me. Russ says no energy source will be available if they can't put a meter on it and pay with a fiat currency system. Well, if they can't make money off of it, then they don't want to do it. Who gives a crap about money if you're if you're gonna die? Like, who gives a shit about money, right? All right. Let me share this article really quick. This is the other article that is in the description, so you guys already have access to it. Let's go here. This is the Common Dreams. I'm not going to read the entire article because I want Kenny Stansel to get the credit for this. But here we go. We have climate activists. This is in Washington, D.C. This is yesterday. Rallies held across the United States for climate, care, jobs, and justice. Quote, the president and Congress must protect our planet and the people who call it Earth home now. It starts scores of people in communities around the United States took to the streets on Saturday to demand swift and bold legislative and executive action to tackle the fossil fuel-driven climate crisis, as well as the skyrocketing inequality. The Fight for Our Future rallies held in Washington, D.C., Phoenix, Atlanta, and 40 additional cities across the country. Message was simple. The time is running out for Congress and President Joe Biden to make the bold investments needed to create millions of unionized clean energy and care sector jobs that can simultaneously mitigate greenhouse gas pollution, along with economic and racial justice. Yeah, you can do it all at the same time. The nationwide mobilization, organized by a coalition of more than 20 labor, civil rights, and environmental justice groups, including SEIU, NAACP, the Sierra Club, Sunrise Movement, the Center for Popular Democracy, and the Green New Deal Network, took place one day after Earth Day. And so this talks about how this came after the IPCC. And it says basically it's now or never to confront the planetary emergency. It says Biden has vowed to listen to scientists. Complete and utter bullshit. Vowed to listen to scientists. No, he didn't vow to do shit. Joe Biden, yeah. He said he and the leaders of our wealthy other countries have also ignored their numerous warnings to leave fossil fuels in the ground and embark on a rapid transition to renewable energy and a more sustainable built environment and food system. It says prior to the country that begins with the R's invasion of the country that begins with a U. I still have to make sure I do that because YouTube is being ridiculous right now. Biden has already approved more permits for drilling on public lands and waters that former President Donald Trump did in his first year. Biden has already approved more permits for drilling on public lands and waters than former President Donald Trump did in his first year. Biden. Biden has taken steps to boost domestic oil extraction and frack gas exports to Europe, threatening to lock in polluting infrastructure for decades at precisely the moment when experts say emissions must be slashed. The rest of the article, the link is in the description. I want this person to get the clicks for this article because it's deeply important. But this is extremely important, y'all. Like why? Like, he's not listening to scientists. He's listening to the oligarchs. It is clear. Like, motherfucker, somebody put these presidents in an orange jumpsuit and lock them up, please. Put them in some orange jumpsuits and lock them up. Try them in a court by the people, please, because they're following the word of sociopaths instead of the word of the people. Yeah. Make them do the perp walk. Make them do it. All them nonviolent people who were put in prison for nonviolent drug offenses, yeah, free them, put them on either side, and let them hoot and holler and watch as these presidents are basically have chains on their wrists and chains on their feet with orange jumpsuits on, and as they walk down and do the perp walk in between them. Let that happen. You know what, Yipper? That is the bullshit that they sell. A billionaire, just because a person is a billionaire doesn't necessarily make them smart. And just because they're smart doesn't mean that they're a compassionate or kind or empathetic person as well. Because little do we know, Bill Gates was an asshole. And he just laundered his image so that people start to think, oh, he's actually a good billionaire. No, he is not. Mind you, Bill Gates also is the largest owner of farmland in the United States. Why is he the largest farmland owner in the United States now? Why does he have ownership of the centers of food production for all of us in this country? Hold on. Let me get out of my face. Why in the hell does he have all this power? Why does he have all this power? Y'all know why. Y'all think Rome is crazy for talking about revolution? I don't think he's crazy. Let's be real. Part of me think that Rome is ahead of his time. Some of us are just arriving a little late. I know I did. That Hampton College story still got me twisted. Oh yeah. Oh, that was fucked up. That was fucked up. Oh yeah, just to let you guys know, we cover this on the roundtable on Thursday. Hampton University decided to open its doors to people who are in the country that begins with the U, that rhymes with propane, and so they allowed them to come in to do a semester. They're paying for free room, board, and tuition, absolutely free, and allowing them to come in into their school to go to college. Meanwhile, the kids in the surrounding area, you have students that are probably in places like Yemen, Ethiopia, Somalia, Congo, Syria, and Palestine, who don't get that invitation to Hampton University, and yet they can't come and do the same thing. Why? I wonder. And this is supposed to be a historically black college. Yeah, that was pretty fucked up. Yeah. But anyways, um but yeah, these rallies being held, and then you have scientists that are literally chaining themselves to the doors. It's crazy, right? Um James Starks and Rockfin, thank you so much for the thanks for the tip. James Stark says, all power to the people. We need a people's revolution. Workers on the planet Earth unite. Save Mother Earth. Save ourselves. BP Palm 1947. PS Love RBN and at J. Thank you so much, James Starks. I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's basically what it's all about, dude. I mean, we just can't let this happen. We can't allow this to happen. And solidarity with all them climate scientists, man. Solidarity with y'all, because y'all the real ones. Y'all are basically saying, look, this is what's going on. Y'all need to know, and we need to, make sure that we are saving this planet, because if this planet dies, then we die. And so then we get to that point, look, I'll put it to you like this. You're on the Titanic. Titanic just hit an iceberg, right? And you're part of the lower classes. So you guys are on the lower decks. Shit, this is definitely like Titanic. And you know that all the rich people are jumping on the lifeboats. The small group of rich people, they're jumping on the lifeboats and taking those lifeboats away. Right? And as they're taking the lifeboats away, they have their goons, the police, that lock the gates on the lower decks to keep you from getting up there and jumping on those lifeboats so you can preserve yourself alive. Anybody see the 1997 movie Titanic, directed by James Cameron? That actually happened in the movie. Guaranteed it happened way back then in 1912 too. What did they do? A bunch of dudes, including Leonardo DiCaprio, by the way, decided to lift a bench that was bolted to the floor off the floor. They ripped it off, and then they bursted through that gate, and then one of them, mollywop, clocked one of the guards when they tried to block them from getting up there to the top deck so that they can save their own selves alive. What makes you think that we don't have to do that now on a global scale? We're literally on the Titanic and it's sinking. Those of us, you and me, we are the working and poor people on the lower decks. And they're basically locking us out, and they're using the police to keep us in check so that we don't go up to the upper levels to save ourselves. When are you going to pick up that bench, ram that gate down, and take over those lifeboats? And by taking over the lifeboats, what I mean is actually saving this climate, saving our planet so that we can survive. Not everybody can lift the bench. Not everybody can ram the gate. Of course. Some of us can. We're in this situation. This is, when we say a life or death situation, this is what we're talking about. But Elon Musk is making electric vehicles. Elon Musk producing electric vehicles is like telling everybody to put on their really nice clothes and go back downstairs and listen to the string quartet and just enjoy your time. Just chill out for a second. You're going to be all right. The boat's not really sinking. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why for this stream. There's a lot going on right now. Jojo, yeah. Have y'all noticed the wilted, deformed vegetables, onions, garlic, fruits, and vegetables in our grocery stores lately? Oh boy, I'm gonna be talking to something about that next week. Stay tuned for the JB show next week, baby. Oh, we're talking about some stuff. Ooh, boy. Y'all better stay tuned for next week. Oh, we're going to talk about it. Wesley says disabled are going to be in a tight place when it's don't work, don't eat. Disabled. I know. Juliet says the lack of preparation and denialism of those in charge was why a lot of people died in the Titanic. Lack of preparation. They known about the climate crisis for decades now. Denialism. They denied that it was ever going to get this bad. And WC was the people who are in charge. Is why a lot of people are dying on this planet right now. Thank you, Juliet. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I did a disability discussion on Thursday evening with Lucky Burrito and Steve Cutler. So yeah, go ahead and check that out. I think grocery stores are trying to sell more imperfect fruits and vegetables. The question is whether these imperfections are just aesthetic or do they signify serious problems with the food. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that should be. We shouldn't be so picky for perfect ones. Like a tomato shouldn't be perfectly. All tomatoes are perfectly round. You know, they're gonna have blemishes. They're gonna have, you know, they're gonna have things like that. You know, just trim that piece off. You know, it's still good. It's not like it's rotting. So yeah. Uh, Peter Linehan says the system of shareholders almost designed so no one can be held accountable, which is one of the reasons why no action is being done. Shit. Get rid. Never mind. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut because I'm gonna get in trouble if I say what I really want to say. Louis Aldamiz says we, European Union, don't organize that well. We are divided among many borders and ethnic lines. Also, most people is conformist. Thank you very much for that perspective from the European side. Graz Sarducci says capitalist system won't prepare. It is not profitable. Absolutely. Because the thing is that there's no profit in preparing us for a system that saves us. The impact of meatpacking plants on the waterways alone is perilous. Yeah. Let me see. Somebody was about to get me in trouble in the stream. Yipper, don't. I'm not responding to that because if I respond to that, this stream's gonna have to go straight to Rockfan because I can't respond to. I can't respond to it. No. Nope, I'm not. No. No, you don't. No, you don't. I see what you're trying to do. Guess what? No. You're not going to get me in trouble. I'm not going to say anything risque because you know me. Y'all be coming here in the chat and y'all be like, oh, let's roll JB up. Let's get his juices going. Nope. Yipper. Shame on you. Slide into my DMs. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Gosh. See what you did, Yipper. Damn it. But I like the way you think, though. JB, they both came into Heartland's media chat the other days. They both came into Heartland's media chat the other day, squashing a man who lost his son to suicide from missing his supplemental insurance payments. Who? Who came into the chat? Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Scott the Noyers. His story is rough. My heart goes out to him. Oh yeah. Robin Lane says the push for personal responsibility looks now to be more of a cover for collectively deliberate lack of it. Yeah. Personal responsibility. What about community responsibility? What about our collective responsibility to this planet and to our survival? What about the collective responsibility so that we all don't become homeless? What about the collective responsibility that we all have healthcare? What about the collective responsibility that we all have education? What about the collective responsibility that we all do not compete and engage in these wars for resources that we shouldn't even be having in the first place? By the way, just a question. Would we be at war in all these different countries if we didn't need those resources to begin with? We wouldn't need to protect oil fields if we didn't rely on fossil fuels. Investing in green and renewable technology is also anti-war, which means that the military-industrial complex does not want us to get off fossil fuels either. You heard it first, baby. RBN, welcome. Nice to have you. Look, we're gonna tell you what's up. We're not gonna censor ourselves just to please certain oligarchs, certain people who basically want to ruin the planet just for their profits. No, fuck the profits. I hate money anyway. Get rid of it all if we have to. Shit, I don't care. Look, we have to save ourselves, and that's the only way we can do it. So I don't care. Ooh, I almost said something that I was gonna get myself in trouble for. YouTube would have been like, "Oh, you can't say that." Tommy John, you doing it? I want to say something so bad, but I just can't do it. Okay. I'm not gonna. I'm moving on. Kami John, you know me too well. And John. What? John, come on, bro. Come on. Don't do this to me, man. No. I can't. See, I might not even do my stream next week because y'all just be getting me in trouble. Y'all just be. Nope. Don't you, John? Yeah, if you and me, John, if we have a conversation, it'll last for hours. We'll jump from topic to topic. I love you, John. And Miss Vicky, don't look, Miss Vicky, watch yourself now. Watch yourself now, Miss Vicky. Yeah. I'm trying to make it a little bit lighthearted because this is a very deep subject, but I keep going back to it a little bit. Um, I'm not even reading that. I'm not reading it. Nope. Nope. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Not because, look, I am a believer that sex work should be legal and sex work is work. And I support all sex workers out there. I just do not have the intestinal fortitude to be in front of the camera like that because that takes some bravery. I'm not brave like that. But I can't. Because I'm gonna say something. And then next thing you know, you guys gonna be like, "Oh my god!" At RBN, JB said this live on stream. Oh my goodness! I blushed when JB said what he said. Next thing you know, Rome's gonna be like, "Yeah, that's my boy JB." And then next thing you know, Sabby's gonna be like, "What?" Nigga's just gonna laugh, and CJ, he'll be chuckling to himself, and Josana's just gonna be like, "JB, I love you." I know how they're all gonna react. I'm not. Nope. I am not gonna be doing no rated X up on Rockfin. John, I saw your comment. I ain't putting it up on screen. Nope. I seen it. I seen it, but I'm not doing it. Nope. Y'all trying to get my ass in trouble, and y'all are just like, look, I, look, I know some of y'all want to see my body of work. Y'all, you know what the hell, man? I'm making accidents here in my bedroom and shit. Look, that's it. I'm gone. Look. I need to end this stream because y'all trying to get me in trouble with RBN and the fam. They're gonna have to censor this stream. I'm gonna end up getting a strike on YouTube saying that, and this stream is gonna have to be for 18 and up. All because the people in the comments want to see my body of work. Ooh, in my house. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm keeping my mouth shut. No. So look, I know I made, try to lighten the mood, but it was on a very heavy topic because the earth is our home, right? If we were to try to get out of the profit seeking and try to go into the humanity building type of ideology, which is what I'm more interested in, we would be doing things like making more sustainable farming by having more local farms, thousands of them, especially in food deserts, near food deserts right now. We would be, trying to build mass public transit. And by building mass public transit, I'm saying one, a system that is bigger than the project we did to build the interstate system. If we were to do that, right, have our education system centered around building sustainable, clean energy systems, sending kids not just to college, but also to trade schools and vocational schools, building around that, ending these wars abroad for these resources that we will no longer need, calling back all of our troops, closing down the 800 plus military bases around the world, and then taking the guns out of our military members' hands and handing them shovels, rakes, training some of them to operate heavy machinery like those big, burrow machines that can make a huge hole in the ground so that you can plant big ass trees and put them in the ground, planting seedlings, using the Army Corps of Engineers in order to build sustainable buildings. Back on the roundtable, I actually showed a video where they talked about building with hemp blocks into homes, sustainable homes that absorb CO2, that don't grow any mold at all, that do not burn from fire, which means they are more safe than a lot of building materials that we have now. And it is cheaper to make, and it's more plentiful, and it does not add significantly to climate change by cutting down trees. If we can build these types of sustainable things, then we can truly save our planet. What if we start changing our education system to the point where we acclimate our education system to the way kids learn, build it around the way kids learn, right? And this goes into how we feed our kids. This goes into how we fund the schools. Instead of doing it through property taxes, we'll just do a blanket tax from the entire state and then equally fund all the schools exactly the same. And then we'll do an influx of cash in the most disenfranchised schools to bring them up to the same level as all the other schools. And then taking these same kids who have different avenues of learning and then gearing them towards different directions as far as either being an engineer for sustainable things or being a carpenter, to help us out with different things in that area. Or, this kid will be great at farming, so we gear them into this direction. And so we have school that's based on that, and then have college and universities tuition free, having vocational and technical schools tuition free so that they can get out there and start doing it. Just start thinking about the potential. Sometimes we talk about the doom and gloom a lot on RBN because, well, it's pretty significant. But we also need to talk about what the possibilities are. things that can excite us, to put us to a point where we're just like, oh my God, wouldn't this be great if we, and insert, the possibility of something that would be wonderful. You know the phrase keep hope alive? That's part of what I guess I'm trying to do here. Just think about some of the wonderful things that we can do about in the future, and let that be part of the driving force to us whenever we protest, wherever we're doing activism, whatever we're doing mutual aid, whatever we are, I don't know, writing a letter to someone in power, or we're speaking to someone about either things having to do with anti-capitalism, or things to do with environmentalism, or things to do with just having a better system instead of the one that we have for people. Keep this type of mentality in your heads so that it produces some positive feelings as to a hopeful and brighter future. That's one of the reasons why I like talking about things like this in this way. Because you have to also have some excitement about things so that you can have the drive to change it. It's like having a fixer-upper home, right? If it's hard for you to see the potential, are you really going to work to fix it up? Because you see so much that is wrong with it. But continue to also focus on the potential. To put in your mind's eye, this system is a fixer-upper. We're going to fix it up, and then it is going to be beautiful. And that's one of the things that I want to convey to all of you. And talk about it more amongst each other, about what you would be excited about, in the future, if we can do this. Look, I want a friendly competition with China. I want a friendly competition. I want to compete with China, and I want to be like, hey, China, y'all got them thousands of, y'all got them rails, huh? High-speed rail? All right, bet. We're going to build double that. Watch us. We're going to do sustainable, high-speed, maglev rail. And you know why I chose China? Because the United States and China roughly have the same square mileage of area. China and the United States are roughly the same size. So, friendly competition? Sure. Be like, hey, China, y'all think y'all in their homelessness? All right, we bet. We got you. All right, we're going to do it better than you. We're going to raise the living standards of everybody. We're not going to have no poverty by the time we're done. I want to see a friendly competition of the race to the top. And by race to the top, I mean the standard of living for the most disenfranchised would be better than the average standard of living of most people in places in Western nations and in China and in the East. Can it be done? Absolutely. But this is things I like to talk about. So, besides that, and getting all juicy for y'all, why the hell did I just say that? I like talking about making things better and the possibility of things just being better. Like, I actually want to have a friendly competition with Cuba as far as our medical technology. Get rid of the medical embargo. Get rid of the embargo and the sanctions on Cuba, and then compete with Cuba. Be like, okay, look, you guys have this mortality rate. You guys got you guys have these types of health outcomes. All right, bet. We United States, we're gonna beat you guys. All right, let's go. We're gonna beat you guys in 10 years. Our health outcomes are gonna be better than yours. And then start a race. Who has the healthier nation? All right. The some of you Nordic countries have some of the happiest countries. Guess what? Bet. All right. Friendly competition. We're gonna have a happier nation than y'all in 20 years. Let the games begin. Friendly competition to extend the lives and sustain and help people thrive. Wouldn't that be better? Instead of having war, we beat other countries by making our outcomes better by just working with what we got. Friendly competition of who can help who the most. Like sending engineers to help a country build their infrastructure. All right, we're sending our engineers to Chad. China, you send your engineers to Nigeria. Let's see who can build up which country first as far as infrastructure is concerned. Let's see who can help the country best. We extracted so much resources, we need to give back to these countries. So we're going to do that. We're going to give back. We're going to give them billions of dollars in aid. They want to nationalize, their natural resources. All right, cool. All right. And then we'll do a trade deal with them. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just a silly socialist. I don't know. I'm just thinking about these things as they come up in my head, but I don't know. But yeah. So that's what's going on. Solidarity with all the people who are climate activists out there who are trying to help save our home. Try to mitigate the housing crisis that is climate change. Keep up the good work, y'all, because you guys are doing the damn thing. And yeah. And by the way, y'all don't want me to do a rock fan exclusive where JB gets naughty. Y'all don't want that. Nope. Because that'll be too much. Rockfin will probably kick me off stream. They'll be like, "Oh, JB, you're too much." No, I can't do that. Nope. Next thing you know, I'll be talking about. Never mind. Nope. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. Oh, thank God I'm not high right now. Oh, it would have just came out. Thank God I didn't have any alcohol. Oh, it would have just came out. Ooh. I'm trying to keep myself censored. I'm trying to. I don't want him. Next thing you know, I'll be like If you're a dude that can put his ankles behind his ears, call me. Shit, I said it. Why? Why, JB? Why? Why in the hell y'all watch me? Why? Mm-mm. It is too early for this. It's a little after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. But I mean, anytime's the right time for. Anyway, no. Mm-mm. I have two devils on my shoulder right now. It's you and JB. Devils on my shoulders. Vicky. No. So yeah, I need to get off this stream because I'm gonna get myself in trouble. I'm gonna end up hearing it from Nick. Nick's gonna be like, JV, dude, why you said all that rated triple X stuff on the stream? Nick, help me. Oh my God. Next thing you know, JB will end up having tassels. I'll be swinging them all around and shit. Oh gosh, somebody's gonna clip this and share this with my mama, and I'm gonna be embarrassed as hell. Oh jeez, what in the hell? I'm going to hell. Anyway, yep, yep. While folding fitted sheets, butt naked. See, this is. Robin. See, you did what John couldn't do. See, I need to go. I need to go. See, this is why. See. Usually when Rome goes out like this, I'm usually the more sane one. I'm usually the one that's more subdued, and I'm usually the responsible one. But for some reason, when he's not here, I end up busting loose. I feel like busting loose. Busting loose. I said, no, absolutely not. I hope y'all got a laugh today after the final part of the stream. Because I just, JB, I gotta end. I gotta end it. I just can't do it. No. Y'all gonna have me get in trouble. I'm gonna get kicked out of in my house. In my house. Yeah. I love y'all. Y'all are great. Thanks again for the $2, James, on Rockfin. Stay sexy, people. Forehead kisses. Mwah!